Over the past year, we've experienced a season of amazing growth. Super exciting. We've got to the point in our primary age group, which is our elementary. Fact check.
Yes.
For Americans, we have too many kids, too many small groups to only have one boys or girls group per year group. So we're going to talk about small groups for kids, which at our church is called KDGs,
Yes.
Kids Discipleship Groups.
Good.
So she wants to know how your kids get split into their small groups at your larger campuses. When you have, for example, multiple groups that all have year 5 boys.
Oh, yeah.
And when a new child comes in, how do they know which group to go to? Do you have boys and girls separate, or do you have mixed groups?
Oh, can I just say something really fun?
Please
Okay,
go.
so let's just take it to the absolute extreme. So at our Hills campus, which would be our largest campus,
It's big.
we actually have done something really fun, which there is this epic long schools list when you walk into any room.
Correct.
And
On
on
the
the
wall.
schools list, every school has a coloured tribe
Right,
next to
right.
it. And so there are 4 coloured tribes, and that shows the kids where to go. So that helps them find their KDG room. So that's where they play. Then they travel together to the worship experience, the large group formats, time, and then they go back to those rooms where the curriculum is out, and they split into a few groups within the tribe. With those leaders. So it at least gives them that home base of kids that they're traveling with for the morning, week in, week out, and across service times, because hopefully they will meet friends from their school or in their geographical area.
That's
That's
great.
kind of the idea.
Which is a nice idea.
So I think that tribes is a really fun idea. Like if you have, enough kids to start dividing it
create,
up more,
yeah.
why not create kind of like a team culture around it?
The fun thing about that is if a kid doesn't have their school listed on there, and that's a big celebration point. It's like, oh, you're a first person from that school,
Yeah.
and you can get to
And
know.
the list just keeps growing. It's so
Yeah.
fun. But we
Add them
kind
to
of
the
have like a
list.
little map that we use to do that. But there's other ways you could break up tribes, but I find that every kid has a school or has a homeschool tribe.
There's a
that
homeschool
they
tribe,
can
just
join,
separate.
and it's kind of a good way of dividing
Still
them up.
accepted.
It's just, I just think it's a good way of dividing them up because it's harder to do it with alphabetical stuff and
100%.
other weird ways.
Dan, you homeschool your kids. How do you feel about
Well,
that?
they go to Daphne Street Primary,
Right.
which is the name of the street that we live on.
Amazing. Do we need to beep that out? Because you might have paparazzi now.
Yes, well, just at random Daphne Streets around the country. Yeah.
There are lots of Daphne streets. Just people working their way through all the Daphne streets. Just say it a few more times. Daphne.
Daphne
So, there's lots we can say about connect. I will say this
Near
about
Tash
small
Street.
groups. I will say this thought about small groups. Tash Street.
Wow.
Hey Tash, team member Tash, how you doing? Good to hear you. I will say this. You have to, out of all the things you need to be deliberate about in your children's ministry, small groups is one of the things you've got to be so onto all the time, because they can disintegrate so quickly if you're not
Yeah.
on top of it. You've got to make it a priority. And to be honest, here's the way that we approach it. We have kind of 2 teams in Hillsong Kids, our creative team and our pastoral team. Pastoral team wear T-shirts with their name tags. They're identifiable as leaders in the room. Their job is to 100% minister to children. Excuse me. Look, I'm using my microphone so you didn't capture the
Wow.
gas.
That's wow. Did you
Pretty nice,
manage-
right?
Okay,
That's
good.
amazing.
So-
Good job.
Something else would be amazing is not to have gas.
I'm drinking our other sponsor, a
Pepsi
Pepsi Max. So it's going to be tough not to do
Silently
that.
judging.
The other team is not silent when you say it. The other team is our creative team. Their job is to produce the experience up the front for praise and worship, for the screens, the media playback. So in terms of our 2 teams, we have those 2 together.
Yeah.
That means, in theory, that our pastoral team can 100% focus on the needs of every individual child. That was real Kiwi. Because we're talking to Rosie.
yes.
Yeah.
Every individual child and their specific, what they like, just kids, just hanging out with kids.
Totally.
Yeah.
Another important team position in that is the welcome team, because they're the ones that are going to identify that new kid and help bring attention to the fact that they don't have a group yet, or explain the process. Imagine if you had the most friendly people ever checking in the kids, or welcoming the kids, as we like to call it, and then bringing them into the room and making sure they know what leader to connect to later, what group they could be in. It's a really good team to build.